and I'm hearing weird stuff going on in my mic. I don't know what's going on, but we got Star Wars Santa, we got Sketchcraft, we got Mandalorian stuffs, so it's a good day. It's not a bad day.
Hey,
How's it
what's
going,
up,
guys?
Trekkies? We're here to talk about Picard season 3. All right, let's do it.
Hey, I'm kind of excited for it. I'm a little bit into the idea of it.
Right?
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna check it out. You know,
Will Geordi have eyes? Will he not have eyes? For
You know
40
what?
years of this,
Think about Jordy is when he speaks, I feel seen. So what does that mean? But yeah. So anyways, we got a bunch of Mando stuff that hit today. We got a clip. We got like a get caught up video, and we got a bunch of the helmets, and then so like which is sort of an update about an episode that we did last week about the Empire cover when you get down to it. So really quickly, let's talk about the recap video. I'm not going to play the recap video because I feel like we're just tempting fate by doing the clip and the recap video, but with getting struck down. But the recap video, do you think that Santa? Do you think that's going to be a video we get on Disney Plus?
That's a great. I think the second part of that is, will they put that as the intro to episode 1 of season 3? Will they play that and then roll the credits and start the show?
Yeah,
that's a really good question because we get kind of the start of highlights of season 1, highlights of season 2, highlights of Book of Boba Fett, and then here we go.
yeah,
Mando
yeah.
3.
Because it would be a shame if they didn't put it on Disney Plus. Like I think they should put it on Disney Plus before, as well, and then like, but it would make sense. And like,
it does. And if they do that, then all these questions about, well, will people understand where we are? Well, you don't have to watch Mando 1, 2, or Boba. Let's just go, right?
yeah,
There's no homework to do. They'll play the intro, recap.
because we were talking before the show, and it's like there are certain things that if you didn't watch Book of Boba Fett, you don't know, blah 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 blah. But the thing that my take is, everybody who says that saw both shows. Everybody who's making the critique, like everybody's going to be confused.
No,
Isn't
that's
confused.
actually this. Look, I agree with you, Jason. Except I can poke a hole in this theory. I have a house cleaner who's old, about Santa's age, right? She's really nice, sweet lady. Loves Star Wars. Her and her husband only watch the Mando stuff,
Yeah.
and they didn't watch Boba Fett because they didn't really care for. They just want the Mando stuff. They're not into older, like, for whatever, man. That's their thing. And I had to explain to them. You know, there's 2 episodes in there, and they're like, "What episode?" They're all confused. They didn't want to watch it, so they're not going to watch it at all. You know.
Yeah,
And it is weird. Let's be honest, man. I'm pretty. I love Mando. It is weird to shove the Return of Grogu into like the 6th episode of a Boba Fett
Weird.
series. It is the weirdest move on that whole series.
but once again, the one person that we have, that the one, like, you know, example we have, has now been informed and is being willfully stupid and
That's
not
true.
watching it. So it's
Yeah,
like,
well,
what do you want?
Jason, I've said it off air. I'll say it on air. Are you telling me Star Wars fans are being willfully stupid? Like that's something
yeah.
new? Like,
Oh yeah, no. I mean, half of them follow tarot card readers to get what's going on with Kathleen Kennedy right now. So what are you gonna do with these idiots? Nothing.
bro, what happened to
Forget
the
about
Disney
them.
Civil War? Like it just. We in a
Yeah.
Disney Cold War now? Like, what is it? Like,
It's called Disney Star Wars fans are basically Disney adults who don't like Star Wars it's when Disney adults go evil. But anyways, the point is that it, like, we are in a place now where all of the shows are going to talk to each other. And if people haven't caught up with that, if they right now, you got a really good indication. Then when Ahsoka comes out, it's very clear at that point. At that point, you cannot be confused. And then when we move on after post Ahsoka, if you still don't know, then maybe you're not smart enough for Disney.
So there's a question in there about the skeleton crew. And will it fit in? Because Favreau said something about, we're not going to introduce skeleton crew in Mando.
Yeah.
And then some people are running with it to say, well, skeleton crew doesn't tie into anything. And that's not true.
That's not true. Just because water doesn't flow backwards and forwards, it flows downstream. We're going downstream with this plot. So that one comes after Mando 3. Therefore, the events of Mando 3 can inform Skeleton Crew. That seems fair, right?
Yeah. Well, and same with Ahsoka, right? It would be after Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So, let it breathe. It'll get there.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean just because we're not getting it introduced in this show doesn't like. So one of the things about Skeleton Crew that I think I've probably cracked at this point is that the kids are with their teacher, pirates come, then they blast away, and then now we're lost in space. That seems to be how the series kicks off in essence, right? If that's accurate, then why would they meet Mando? Why would they're kids? They have nothing to do with that story at that point. But once they're in the mix, that's when they're players in the mix, right?
So
that's
the next logical question on that, if they don't tie into Mando at all, do they tie into Ahsoka at all?
Mm-hmm.
Will there be?
I really feel like we're talking about other comic book bullshit again. Like, is this working with this?
No, we're not. No.
I know we're not. I know, but it's just it's the same headache I get whenever that gets brought up.
Yeah.
We're talking about new places in the Star Wars galaxy that haven't been explored.
But will the characters, much like we started this by talking about Grogu reuniting with Mando in Book of Boba Fett, which is really like a continuation of the Mandalorian story. Yeah. Well, will Skeleton Crew be introduced in any way in Ahsoka, or are they just kind of saying this space exists and then Skeleton Crew shows up and you make the connection, or is it really sort of a connection? Is there a through line? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess the big question. I'm with you. Is that in Skeleton Crew, does Ahsoka turn up? Do the pilots from Mando turn up? Does Mando turn up? Like, do they get saved by the Mandalorians at the end? Who knows? But it all of this stuff is talking to each other now. And if you're like, I only watch one Star Wars show, that's just on you at this point. Like, I'm not saying you need to watch everything and do everything, but these shows
that's a lie. And in terms of that, that's not, because they only watch the one show, but
that's weird. That's actually,
but weird. There are a lot of folks we're talking about Star Wars fans who go online and type about shit and buy toys. There's less of us than there are of the people out there that just watch the movies or just watch the one thing.
But everybody I know in real life who watched Mando watched Boba Fett. I'm talking.
Well, it won't matter because there'll be a previously on Boba Fett bullshit right before each episode starts, and they're going to wonder when that happened and go look it up. So at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It's just so weird. It's kind of like, and look, this isn't the same thing because the timeline isn't right. But imagine if the return of Han Solo after Empire came after at the tail end of a holiday special part 2 or some shit. You know what I mean? And wasn't a Return of the Jedi. It'd be really weird. Well, you're like, no, you missed the holiday special part 2, the turkey edition.
But that's the thing though, is that we have all of these. We have a bunch of series concurrently running that talk to each other, and
as these fans wanted, right? Didn't they want everything connected? Right? Remember when the movies were coming on?
It's your house. You're Mr. Bougie house.
I know. That's all I could think about. Wait, Rob's got a house. Wait a second. I don't have
Wait. But it's like no. I feel like because these things aren't airing concurrently, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I don't
have a house because I was in the army, man. I got the VA loan, Santa. You could have done it too. You could have done it when there was no wars. You could have been in stripes,
No, I was in during an active duty war. I was in a full war. Yeah.
Vietnam. What?
Santa
you were in Vietnam? Please tell me you were in Vietnam, dude. You were the guy in the helicopter.
No. Desert Storm.
Desert Storm. Are you? Oh, so Santa just got the Gulf War syndrome, which explains a lot, actually. It's not rosacea, is it, Santa? That's a cocktail of vaccinations.
All those vaccinations.
Shit. I better be careful. People are gonna think I'm anti-vax.
No, when you get down to it, they will probably inform us last time on Mando, and then they will show it. So if somebody just literally refuses, be like, I'm all about branding, I won't check out anything, then they will know what they need to like know.
It would make sense if they're doing a whole marketing campaign now, right? So they're doing the recap on YouTube, Twitter now. They'll put that on Disney Plus as a teaser before Mando season 3 comes out. It'll be in that top header bar or whatever, And then when you go to watch episode 1, you'll get a recap. And then you can skip it or you can watch it. That's exactly what they should do.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what will happen. If not the one that we saw today. And now there's one up on YouTube on the Star Wars channel you could watch if you want to see it. And and I don't really buy this like whole thing that everybody's confused for the most part.
Well, they're confused, but it's not about this.
And I also think that if the people who are confused and don't care are at such a level that they just want to see pew pew pew, and they're cool. They don't care anyway.
There's a ton of people that say it's like I don't know how else to describe it. I keep using the pizza analogy, right?
Yeah.
I love pizza. Love pizza.
I want pizza.
But if you go in to a pizza place and you order your pepperoni.
Jesus,
pizza,
Santa, you're gonna get me hungry. Like this is not good.
Oh,
Talk about Woolworths or something.
What was I talking about?
Oh, good. I confused him, Jason. We can get out of this because I'm just gonna get hungry. I'm on a diet, man. I can't.
But just people saying, well, it would have been better if it were dessert pizza. Well, sure, it would have been better dessert pizza. If we wanted dessert pizza, we would have gotten dessert pizza. But we got pepperoni pizza. It's like Rob said earlier, or you told Rob earlier. That wasn't the assignment, right? The assignment was pepperoni pizza. You got pepperoni.
The assignment
pizza.
was to lose money, and they did it. They lost $2.4 million.
No, that's actually not what they're saying. They're saying that's what made money. It's the other shit that lost the money that they're cutting out.
And so now everybody's saying, well, we really wanted Jedi Grogu. We wanted Jedi Grogu. You should have done Jedi Grogu. Jedi Grogu was the best thing ever, and you guys messed it up. Well, that wasn't the assignment.
Yeah.
It wasn't ever going to be Jedi Grogu. It doesn't matter what you think that you wanted.
To go with the paper moon thing that I think that you're kind of alluding to here is that like Grogu, they did the paper moon from it. But you want to know what I think is the most valid critique of that is in Paper Moon. It was go with cool shyster dad and have more adventures, or stay with Victorian style uptight family who sucks, right?
Oh yeah.
But in this story, you have Grogu who has a Mandalorian or Luke Skywalker. That confuses the audience because the audience is intrinsically going to be pulled here or there now. One thing is vastly superior to the person, depending on your personal preference. So it's like it shouldn't. That is the problem with Luke Skywalker having been that role.
Well,
you know what I mean?
That's fascinating. Yeah.
Like had it been like some caretakers of the Grogu creature that he could stay with, as opposed to Mando, then you want him to be, but you want him to be with Mando. But right now you want him. You might want him to be with Luke, and that's a valid concern.
Well, Jason, it's like everyone thought they wanted Darth Vader to be like James Dean, but really he was like an 8-year-old kid who just wanted his mom, and no one liked him. And really, no one liked him. Obi-Wan didn't like him. No one liked, and that's the way it was supposed. That was the assignment.
But Padme liked him.
That was the assignment. Well,
Padme liked him when he killed those kids.
He had He had bees stung lips. So
I mean, I don't think I ever saw Padme more into something than when he killed those kids. So
yeah, maybe.
Just saying, George.
You could poke a hole in anything, Jason, if you try.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. Solve everything in another series, right? Put in a game. I don't have to do the main story. You can take 20 years to write about the Clone Wars and never answer anything. It's my favorite.
Actually, George, you answered quite a bit, George. Just that our friend Rob didn't watch it, so he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh.
There's like 8 seasons of a show he didn't watch, and then he's
Oh
like,
no,
I'm
he
an
definitely
expert.
doesn't. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm telling you, I
doesn't.
know. I didn't really do much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just can
All
you
right,
can you talk to Rob for us? Can you try to get him to watch your work? Can you try to get him to watch your show?
I couldn't even get Linda to watch my work. I'm no good at this.
Oh,
Anyway, I'm gonna get in trouble with the old wifey, the old ball and chain. I gotta get out of here. All right,
yeah.
bye.
Don't talk about the ex-girlfriends, George. No, George. Don't pick up the ex-girlfriends when you got the wife, George. That's not good.
It's what happens when you're stuck at home with COVID. You start going a little crazy. You poke holes, right?
Baymax says Santa can't take a crap without telling the Paper Moon story.
Hey, I'm taking as many. I've been yelling about this Paper Moon thing for like 2 years, and
Yeah, we know.
I know.
We know.
I'm convinced that people just aren't paying attention. I said they need to hear it again.
So much so that when I was listening to a podcast and they did like a 4-part thing on Peter Bogdanovich, I'm like, fucking Paper Moon. I'm gonna hear this fucking shit now.
I actually think that like I think time was their enemy on that guy though, with that like the fan feeling the atmosphere and stuff, and the amount of time it takes to get these done. I think that's what they were working against. But or to armchair it and in a vacuum, if it was all just done at one time and we didn't have to wait for anything, it probably would have been better to not do the reunion in Book of Boba Fett and to show how lost he was longer, and maybe even going down some bad places, back to boozing, back to.
I stand by it, man. They should have gave that Book of Boba Fett to old Guy Ritchie. He should have put the old Guy Ritchie.
Stop.
Yeah, no, he should have done it. With the accents, we got the accents going on. We'll have crazy action. Yes.
No, you're just trying to hurt the world today. You're trying to hurt people.
I can't hurt it more than the Book of Boba Fett. This would actually better.
Guy Ritchie's Book of Boba Fett, I think you found the one thing.
They sit around and pretend to eat turkey legs for 3 episodes. Fucking one. That's Star Wars. That's wonderful.
It would be kind of cool if they were eating like Rancor chow.
Why do they serve they should be serving those turkey legs as Rancor legs or something at Galaxy's Edge, don't you think? When you buy a little Rancor leg, you would.
Revenge Guy loves it so much that you knew what the word simp means.
I know. I saw him on Twitter. Said, do you think Santa knows what? I know what it means. You think that I don't know what it means, so you don't think that I know what I'm saying. But I know what I'm saying.
Well, that's because Santa inadvertently stumbled onto the porn parody Santa Cuck.
Oh my
goodness!
Really ruined his day. Poor guy.
We got a bunch of the Mando helmets. There's right now, if you go to the Mandalorian on Twitter, the official Mandalorian account, and you like the tweet, it'll start tweeting helmets at you, and if you like them, it'll keep tweeting them back at you. And this
should be cereal, by the way.
Well, remember how on Santa's show the other day I was like, I always feel bad for Empire magazine. They always kind of get like a little bit shafted sometimes, a little bit difficult to comprehend what they have and why. They always get the weird stuff. Well, this right here shows us what everything is. We spent a whole day contemplating what anything on that cover was because it was holographic for no reason. They're not going to be holographic in the episode. Why were they holographic? We will never have the answer to why the helmets were holographic. It will never make sense. We'll never understand it. But then we got the pictures here of the helmets. And Baymax and Santa made a really good image that showed who was who for the most part. Like some of them were like covert Mandalorians from season 1. And then you got like your other kid. But I got to say, I said if Arya was right and that's not Boba Fett, I would tell her Arya's right and Rob's wrong. I actually was wrong too, but I don't think that's Boba Fett. And in the holographic one, we thought it was Boba Fett. That's not Boba Fett, though, is it?
I think there's a difference between that one and the holographic one.
Is there?
I think so. One? You remember how it had the 2 like arrows in the above the visor?
It did have the little widow's peak kind of thingy, or whatever you call it.
It was like the left-right blinkers. Right? Like 2 little triangles in the middle.
Yeah, the forehead has the little tech things here, like right here, like a dead center on the bottom of the dome.
Yeah.
And that doesn't have it. So that's not the same one.
Right.
What the? Yeah, it should have been like right here. But
Well, there they are.
but
You can
it's
kind of see the indentations when
yeah,
you
oh
went
yeah,
in.
yeah, they are there.
See,
They are there.
there
Yeah, I
they
can
are.
see them now. Okay, well,
Right.
what's going on? But it is the same helmet. It has to be. It has to be the same indication. I mean the dent looks to be the same. It's not as thin in this one. Maybe I'm not sure. But we get a good look at all of the actual helmets, the main ones here. So I mean it's a this is fun marketing, I will say. Like in terms of like what they could have done, this is something that they should have done, and I'm glad that they are. I mean, the only thing I could probably use is it would have maybe been nice to know the names of the characters or who they belong to if they have names. You know, like is this blue one right here? Is that the one that the guy had in Bespin Bulletin's picture? You know, Bespin Bulletin had the guy standing up. He got that really good shot of the guy with the good hair, like a white dude. And we saw the white dude in like another shot, not in his Mando gear. One of the press things we've seen. One of the magazines had it or something, I think. And I think that might be his helmet. But honestly, I get confused now. There's just too much of there's too much of this for me to keep straight now. You know,
I think Baymax is right. Like, it could just be generic art.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I know there's more helmets than what's here too for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Like I've seen a lot more helmets than what we have on this little list here or whatever. So Revenge Guy says it's the dude from season 1 who everyone thought was Boba in the first episode. That's the guy in the covert, right? Yeah, I that's who I think it is too. I think they flew a little too close to the Boba Fett son. Now we got burned.
Yeah. Well, I went and got right. This is
Oh, here, let me take the image down.
a lot of these helmets that we see are the same ones that are on this artwork. Right?
Yes.
They're exactly the same.
Right.
So I'm thinking that Mark might be, or Baymax there might be right about that. It might just be generic artwork. We're getting too excited about nothing.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You think?
Star Wars fans, that never happens.
Well, we do have to analyze if we do a daily show, we do have to analyze everything.
I'm not griping over the clicks. I just want, the bait. I just want the clicks, right? Like it's all bait, no clicks is the problem. Like,
yeah.
Give us the clicks.
So are these so he sent me orange helmet is on the poster. Okay, so Mr. Baymax here is showing us some Lego stuff. And like, see, wait, I have to put it over to the computer. It's not wanting to transfer over 1 sec. But anyways, yeah, so it looks like these might have been toys first. But if there were toys first, then that's probably just another checkbox for them being part of the covert Mandos, right?
Yeah.
I would think anyways.
Yeah.
So here's some here. Let me add it to the stream so you guys can see. Sorry for listening on a podcast, but that's what you get for not watching the show. But there's like a little, gray and orange one and a green Mandos from Mando costumes that look like sort of similar. And then we have these two guys, and these came out after season 1. I take it. And then right here we got these guys. So they're probably pulling from the covert stuff. And then let me get Santa up on here. So
this was that gray and orange one
right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so Baymax says, "Yep, covert Mandos." Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, for the most part, when you look at like how these shows work, when they have to go they made a bunch more Mando costumes for this season. But then
Nike asks a good question.
The ones that they already have, and the answer is no. Gideon's helmet is not the same as the armor, but I would say in essence closer to the armor than any of the things that we have on there. and it's also black with like little, like I think some like maybe some red highlights here and there, like little underlining kind of things. Sorry if I'm being vague. I saw it one time and I could pick it out of a lineup, but I couldn't draw it for you right now. I just don't have it. I don't have it in my brain well enough, you know. And for a second today, there was another Star Wars story we'll get to, but from Jedi Survivor, they're showing like the Gendai, which is like Gendy, and stuff like that. And when I first saw the art from it, I thought, oh, is that the Mythosaur armor for a second? And I was like, no, it's not the Mythosaur armor either. So, but yeah, but good question, Nike. But it's definitely not in there yet. Not in there yet. But we didn't get a good look at all of those Mandos in the covert early on, and we were under the impression that most of them died, weren't we? Like didn't it seem like most of them bit the dust in the early season or season 1, and so they clearly lived, or they're just reusing the armor.
Well, I mean, so they're reusing the images because even in the Book of Boba Fett, season 2.5, right?
Yeah,
where Din goes back to the armorer and comes clean on taking his helmet off. The covert's down to just the two, right? The armorer and Paz Vizsla. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And no, actually, originally I wrote it that they reused the armor. They go to the book of the Goodwills. That's the Goodwills. That's
The Goodwills.
Yeah. That's where they all.
Yeah.
It's a used universe, you know.
Right. Yeah. It is lived in. Very lived in the Goodwills.
Come on.
Sometimes I wonder why they didn't use George's ideas for episode 7, and then I hear this, and I know. I know why.
Look, I said Star Wars fans are stupid. I'm no exception.
There's nothing he's saying about you guys he doesn't say about himself, okay?
That's true.
So,
we're all in this boat.
That's true. Ari, how come we didn't see him on the trailer? So fucked. I think because they are going to make it a big deal when he comes out with this helmet. You know, and if the moment is made well, like for instance, I hear this argument about Darth Maul. People are like, oh, they showed Darth Maul with the 2 blades in the trailer and it ruined it for me. It's like, you know what? If the moment wasn't good, it was already ruined. If the moment's good, you can know it's going to happen and it's cool.
Oh, that's such bullshit, bro. Because you know goddamn well, man, every time we fucking heard about a cool movie when we were kids on the schoolyard, we only heard the best parts of the movie from the kid who saw it. He told you all the cool shit. And then the shark gets blown up. Oh, I gotta go see that. The shark's gonna get blown up at the end. It's fucking blood everywhere. He eats a guy whole. Oh my god, I gotta go see it. Like that's no one goes, you spoiled it for me. It's ridiculous. It's all lies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, trailers used to show us the best parts because you wanted to go see it. You want to know how the best parts happened and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question. So you were talking about how maybe would they do the recap on Disney Plus? They have been doing like the essential episodes, like from the Clone Wars.
Yeah, like playlists, like best of Mandalorian stuff from the Clone War or whatever.
Yeah, you can just watch through the episodes in that like channel, if that's the right way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
What if they were to do that with the Mandalorian and take episodes from 1 to Boba Fett to lead in? So these are your essential watch, and then they could throw in this, say, 3 episodes from Boba Fett, 2 episodes from Boba Fett, whatever the case is, right?
It would be cool if they eventually had something like that for all of these shows.
Yeah.
So you could be like, oh, the Ahsoka episode 1 takes place here. You know what I mean? And then it drops in there, and then it's like Mando season 4.
And Rob can tell his house cleaner, go watch the Essentials episode thing.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, here you go. Stop messing around. Stop being, you know what? Here's the thing. Today you're not cleaning the bathroom. You're going to sit down and you're going to watch this episode. You know why? Because today's on Rob.
Hey, look, I've been saying for the better part of a decade that every streaming service, Netflix on up, should allow you to create playlists and share them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't, to how we can't do that now. On the just on shit on the service, like, hey man, here's my fucking mix of shit you should be able to see. You can do it on every music service. Why on
yeah,
the
you can do it on
why on the
Spotify.
yeah, like why that way?
Santa's
Jason was
Phil
like
Collins, Genesis, Phil Collins, more Genesis demos, Phil Collins demos.
the
Yes.
Tarzan soundtrack, right?
Tarzan, yes,
Goddamn right.
exactly right.
Mark
Right.
Mancina
Son of
and
Man.
fucking yeah.
That's right.
You think I don't know who scored the Tarzan son? Come on, buddy.
Come on, Rob.
Come on. Con Air, Twister, Tarzan. It's the trilogy of Mancina. You're
Look,
missing.
I saw Jason make you watch the holiday special. You can make him watch Tarzan.
He did.
I know.
Like Abu Ghraib, you put my head in a bucket and made me fucking like.
It's true.
If I had to force watch it, yeah.
Put your feet in cold water, the whole thing. It was terrible.
It was terrible. Go back and listen to the real pain. Like I was like, wait, we're really doing this whole thing? Like,
We're doing it.
oh no.
And then the man stepped in and took us down. You know?
True.
Saved you.
The one time the man actually was a man. Like the
I
man.
mean,
Yeah,
I liked the man that day.
they heard you had a housekeeper, and they were like, "He's one of us. Let's protect him." Baymax says, "Well,
I
past-
gotta fund the elderly since we're cutting Medicare and Social Security thanks to the conservatives, right, Jason?
Well, they're coming for
So
your
right,
stupid-
they're gonna
for
be
your
working till they got one foot in the grave. So I gotta help fund the community.
Baymax
Yeah.
says Paz said in Book of Boba Fett that Paz and Din were the only ones left. So, and it does, yeah. I mean, the end, what we see on screen does seem to imply that they're all dead, and then we have all of these other pieces. I think they could get away with this, what they're doing on this, because they're using pieces. Like I said, like early on, I heard that they were doing this patchwork stuff for all of these different Mando costumes to make a lot of Mando appear to be in the season and the big fights and all of that kind of stuff. So if you have just the helmet and you're just reusing the helmet of, this guy right here, then if you don't do the whole costume, it's not that guy now. Right.
right. And that, there's another good question on that. So that helmet that we saw that looks sort of like Boba's helmet, you suppose it could be an extra Boba helmet that they just painted and scratched up?
I would say probably not, based off of the fact that they made that first. But what I would say is the thing I know is, like, for instance, I had that the Night Owl helmets were coming.
Yeah.
And my first indication that the Night Owl helmets were coming were that they were hitting up armorers in real life. Some who I know, some who are friends of friends. I know some people who make rocket packs. I know some people who make all this different stuff.
I need these quotes from you randomly put in.
Just randomly.
The show. I know people who make rocket packs.
But what they were doing is they were going and they were buying the people who make the items off of people who make this stuff, and then they were bringing it in, and then they were repurposing it, repainting it, building it up, as opposed to starting from scratch. It saved them a lot of time and money to go and do that on the first season of Mandalorian. Well, it wouldn't surprise me if the helmet that they started that from was probably somebody's Boba helmet. Somebody's build. You could buy my build of a Boba helmet. Probably started as that, and then they changed it up from there a little bit. But that's probably why it's so close. That's probably why it already has the dent in it. That's just a guess, but I bet you it's right.
Makes sense.
I would bet it's exactly what happened. All right, so let's look at the.
Hey, let me answer this really quick because Revenge Guy doesn't get it. All right. Revenge Guy says, Rob, question: how do you hate the battle droid design, but tolerate the new dump mechs from Avatar 2? So one, I don't dislike the battle droid design. When the battle droids were originally supposed to look like the Nemodians when they're going to be CGI, which look like the Anunnaki. They were made in their image as creator. And they were designed to work intimidatingly when there's like groups of hundreds of them. That's why every shot you'd see of them, they weren't intimidating. It was like 3 of them marching Amidala around. It was when that bucket load of them comes out and drops a whole fucking grip of battle droids out. The big old chunky fucking ones in Attack of the Clones look stupid. It could have been a better way to design that. Now, as for the new dump mechs from Avatar 2, understand every mech in Avatar 2 isn't a robot. There's a human behind it. So the danger for that human when you're putting a camera over that actor's shoulder is when, a giant arrow's coming, it can go right through their chest. There's real danger. There's no danger to killing a battle droid. Who cares? It's a fucking robot. So it's not the same thing.
He's a James Cameron simp. Done.
Huh?
Done. There you go.
And so what? So what? I'd rather be a James Cameron simp than a goddamn fucking Dave Filoni simp. Like, no offense. No offense.
Whoa.
No offense.
Whoa, where did that come from, Marion?
No offense. No offense.
Come on.
No offense. No offense.
Okay. Let me pull
Hey,
this.
there's Greg Witta simps out there, so you know there's a hierarchy. You know, there's steps down. You know?
Gary Witta. Come
Sorry,
on.
Greg Witta, whatever.
You're gonna say the asshole's name.
Witta,
you say the
woulda,
asshole's
coulda,
name.
shoulda. I mean, that's the guy. All I know is he's always on Twitter complaining about how they didn't use his ideas
He is
properly.
such a bitch. Like,
Yes.
that guy's bitched about me like 4 times, and every time it's fucking like lame. It's always like, oh, if you want all your secrets revealed, follow Making Star Wars. Well, yeah. Thank you for the advertisement.
The skinny arms are for people walking around the city. They're not for the big battle mechs. The battle mechs are still there. Come on, man. You're nuts.
I'm trying to play a clip, and you keep putting the thing up. So take his dumb thing away, and don't listen to Revenge Guy. He's trolling you. He's of the devil. Okay.
Would you saying a guy named Revenge Guy could be trolling people?
Yeah. No.
Huh.
Actually, he doesn't really troll.
I am kind of stupid. Let me think about
Okay. But we have a clip. If you guys want to talk over the clip at any point, feel free. You have to unmute yourself on the bottom though.
Okay.
Right, here we go.
There's a beautiful parcel available right down here by the flats.
I appreciate the offer,
The villages.
but I have some matters to look after.
Well, I'm confused. I thought you had completed your mission, but you're still running around here with the
Grief Garga has a
same
bust
little
of
critter.
himself.
It's complicated. I completed my quest. He returned to me. I removed my helmet, and now I'm in apostate.
Pieces.
Which is
Reese's
all the
Pieces.
more reason for you to stay here
Apostate?
with us. Where
Reese's
you're
Pieces?
from, you may be an apostate, but here, you'd be landed gentry.
It's elementary.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a lot of people were asking, like, what does that mean? And it's like, didn't you grow up with Married with Children and have to look that up at one point in time when you were a kid?
Yes, exactly in the third grade. Like,
The actual like when people ask like, what does that mean? Like when you really get down to it, it's like you're almost a lord, but you're not quite there. That's it classically what it means. But in terms of the like American history, you would be closer to, and this being a Western, it's more like the guys in the South that would smoke cigars and work out business and were probably own slaves and were terrible, but that kind of stuff.
Plantation owner kind of thing.
Yeah, and they would all kind of get together and sort of like, you know, have their little secret board meetings and talk about politics and philosophy. And so anyways, it's like one step away from being an aristocrat. It's sort of like aspiring to the aristocrat class. And so that's what he's telling me. It's like, dude, if you're here, you're like going to be like a big deal on this planet. And but clearly Din's going to want to go and be a big deal on Mandalore.
Yeah, so why is he on Navarro? I mean, he's meeting with Grief Karga there for a reason, right?
Yeah.
He showed up there for some reason or another, and it's obvious Grief is saying, "Hey, why don't you move on over, neighbor? I've got this place right down here. It's got a great view. You're gonna love it." And Din's like, "Nah, I got other things to do." He's like, "Come on, man. You hang out here. This is a much better deal. We're not going to call you names. We're not going to like make you go get baptized or nothing."
but he likes the abuse.
Yeah, you could just
What if he's into it?
hang out here. And he's like, "Well, I got unfinished business."
He's
Well,
like, no, I'm a
Yeah.
prostate.
yeah.
Why does he keep saying he's a prostate?
Well, he's probably 50.
We're all getting there, Jason. We probably shouldn't laugh at that one too much, you know?
But no, you brought up a really good point the other day when we were trying to we were talking about how the episodes or how the series, how the story unfolds. And I was like, well, you know, you have him at the end of Book of Boba Fett. He kind of like has Grogu, and they got their N1 Naboo starfighter, and they kind of hit it. They kind of punch it. They go real fast, and it's like, ha, cute ending, right? But then we know he ends up back on Tatooine. And then when I was like, well, maybe he goes from Navarro to deciding he's going to go there to back to Mandalore, but he needs the droid. But you say he has the droid, right?
Well, I mean, when you look, we know there's a couple of things. You mean
Yeah, yeah.
R5?
Yes, R5D4.
Well, yeah, we've got to
sorry.
break that down, but we also know that on Navarro, there's a point where you can see IG-11, and then IG-11's gone.
Yeah.
And when's he going to go? He's going to take IG-11 at some point, based on your leaks.
Yeah.
Right. We know that the mech suit's coming.
But also, really quickly, there's that place looking pristine, and then there's a big battle that happens.
And then when Grogu shakes someone's hand with that mech suit, it's gonna look stupid, right, Jason?
No, but the point is that we have the big.
Oh, okay.
That statue, it might get knocked down. It may be like hit during battle. You see what, you know what I mean? Like or not the statue, but the and is that that the other thing is like I've always been a little bit confused about the statue itself. Like, is that made of his parts?
Yeah.
Because he's like blown up, and the other one,
Like Nougat.
to the next season,
He's a crunchy center.
He's like there, you know what I mean? Though it's like they're like, so, yeah. Does he go there to get it? Is that what maybe you're inferring, Santa?
Right.
Like, that he maybe goes there to say, hey, can I have it?
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
no way.
yeah.
I don't think that.
He knows that he's got to get some something for Grogu. They've got this problem. He may go to Mandalore and say, "Oh, this place it's going to be a little harder to get into than I originally thought. I'll go catch my buddy Grief and see if I can get some help."
Yeah.
Because that's where he goes to get his help, right? That's where he gets his posse together.
Right.
He goes to Navarro.
But I would say he does that has to happen before he goes to Mandalore. I don't think he'll like leave. I think once they get to Mandalore, they're probably there, right? There would be a lot of like backtracking. I mean, it's possible, but they probably wouldn't do that, but it's possible.
Yeah, well, maybe, yeah. So he could get the word like, okay, you can't go there like this.
You're overthinking it. I'm telling you, he just shows up for no reason. Like, we're just flying by. Thought he'd come say hi on our way to whateversville. Like,
well,
it's what they tend to do. Like, seriously.
No. I don't think it'll be like that because we have those pirate people that are attacking. But
Okay.
what's weird about it, and what's also confusing is a bunch of Mandalorians dropped there, and I think that on Navarro and are in the big fight there against the Nicktoons. And so like a part of me thinks, remember how we saw that shot of the Naboo starfighter and it's like evading I think it's pirates or other people, like people are chasing them, like the other starfighters are chasing them. I'm curious if the Nicktoons are back on their like trail and they go to Navarro for help because they're trying to outrun them, and then the other Mandos are coming there to back them up, but they need like protection before that time. And then we end up with the big fight. They bring the big fight to Navarro, and if they do, we know that the
your
city
guy blew up our friend in the last season.
Well, no,
you all died.
Wait,
right? Nick
wait,
Speederbite gang, right?
No, the original Nicktoons who kidnapped Grogu in season 1, the gang who actually
It's too many Nicktoons. Like, I'm getting confused.
Yeah. I mean, they might be connected or like the same generic villains. I don't know.
All right.
Baymax says those Nicktoons have personal beef with IG-11. It makes sense. IG-11 and Mando sold Grogu off to them, sold Grogu off of them, and killed most of their gang. So that there's a chance that the past is kind of catching up with them in that moment. And then they go there to hide out for a little while. Then the Nicktoon gang shows up, and then Navarro needs to help their old friend. And I'm also going to imagine they're like, don't come back. after the city's all good, and then they mess it all up in the big fight. But so if that is how it goes, like if that theory is right, then why would they decide that they have to go back to Mandalore from there would be like the other question. And I'm wondering if when those Mandos show up to reinforce, if that's when they're like, hey, what's her name? The Night Owl lady. What's her name?
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. I have a problem remembering Bo-Katan's name. I don't think it's a good name. But Bo-Katan.
Filoni.
Yeah. Bo-Katan, maybe that's where he learns what she's up to. That she's back on Mandalore and they got something going on. He needs to go there to get baptized anyways, and so maybe he's like, now it's time I go to get baptized and help Bo, and Bo could help me get baptized. You know what I mean? Like they might be helping each other in that way. So that's where my head is at right now. But the point of this whole conversation was, I think that they must start off on Tatooine.
Oh shit! Again.
And that one right there might be because they want to buy R5D4. He might need an
But he just left Tatooine.
At the
end of Boba. Like,
well, they were just going on a joyride. That's not necessarily going.
Did they leave and then come right back? Like,
Yeah.
that's weird, man.
Just go for a joyride. Hey, you never took your car out, just go for a joyride.
We fast traveled.
Well, Rob, he does like literally go for a test flight in that thing.
But if fast travels in Jedi Survivor, is that canon now? Is that what he's doing? Like,
if you want it to be,
all right.
But no, but I mean he is like testing the ship out in that. So there is a chance that if they go on that little like, you know, flight, we might pick up right from them of them coming back, and that was just a test flight too. Test flight number 2 out in space, because the first one is atmospheric. So I mean, it's possible. It is it fucking seamless, Rob? No, it's not. But I think that if they wanted to put Grogu in that little bubble, because they were like, we have that little bubble, but then they just automatically almost. We know the bubble's in the season though, and we know that R5D4 is in the slot.
Do they still have Papa Bubble? Remember that board game, Papa Bubble, Santa? You remember when you were making all those Christmas '87?
You mean Trouble?
Trouble, right? Trouble,
Yeah,
Papa
they make
Bubble,
Trouble.
right?
Yeah.
They got to make that with Grogu. He's like in the little bubble,
thing in
right?
the
He's got a
middle.
little Grogu head in there. Pop him. Yeah. Like,
Yeah. It's there's definitely a piece missing. I feel like about what makes these motivations make sense, or like why the we know the where, but the why is a little bit confusing.
Well, the first part we know, like he wants to go back to Mandalore to get in the waters, right? We know that's what's his motivation. When he's getting ready to do that, is he going to Navarro? And I sent you a couple screenshots. When he arrives at Navarro, he's got the Grogu bubble on, right? So
okay,
if he goes to Navarro to get his posse together, goes to ask Grief for some extra help, or do you know where I could go find more Mandos? You know, there's the part in the trailer where he says they're scattered like stars in the galaxy, right? Mm-hmm. Do you know any other places? If you heard any other places where we can find more Mandos, then he's got to go back to.
they're at Farrell's.
Well, so if he's got the Grogu bubble there, then next there's the quote about needing to navigate. He maybe go to Tatooine to get the modification done to the N1, then go to Mandalore. Yeah.
Man, I'm not looking forward to more Tatooine. That's all I
This
gotta say.
appears to be arriving on Mandalore, and he's got R5 right behind him there. This is Navarro, and you can see the Grogu
and no
bubble.
R5.
Grogu's
Grogu's in there
the bubble.
though.
Yeah.
So how's Grogu in the bubble? And so that right there would be evidence that we go to Navarro twice then,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
because we have seen R5 on Navarro, correct?
Shouldn't he just have like a
don't
little
know.
hole, like he can just like roll up into like Metroid and pop out in the cockpit or something? Like,
Okay,
Seems like
I
a
don't
weird-
know if we see R5
So
on.
So we haven't
Navarro.
then. So if we haven't seen R5 on Navarro, then we go to Lightspeed from Tatooine at Book of Boba Fett. We go right to Navarro. The Nick-2s catch up. The Mandos reinforce. They know what's up. They're going back to Mandalore. They stop by Tatooine to get a droid, so that way they can hyperspace that far and do that navigating. So that makes sense.
Yeah, attach the mecha droid to the belly or in a
See,
in a,
R5
in
is
the tail.
in a shot on Navarro. R5 is in a shot on Navarro. That's
Okay.
what I thought, and I thought I was losing my mind. But so they go to Navarro twice. Then they have to.
They have to. Yeah.
And when they go to Tatooine, Rob, from all intents and purposes, for what we know, it's just to stop by Pele Moto's place. We have
Yeah, I
nothing
know.
from
It's an
Tatooine
obligatory check
out,
in with that.
outside of her. There is nothing else that we have about it
Whoa,
being
little Grogu!
Tatooine.
Oh, look at you! Oh, look! I fucked the Jawa! Ah, like, all right, man. Glad we checked that one off the list.
What I want is I want her to end up on Mandalore with them eventually, like in like a new fancy not a Mando armor suit, but like the Mandalorian civilization jumpsuit. I want her to get an upgrade.
Do you think she's boning Boba right now because they're like one town over?
I mean, I'm not saying it's
slips into that back tank.
Not on the rig, but definitely sometimes, when it's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I brought you some used parts. Me. All right. Yeah. I didn't even mean to make that joke. Just kind of happened.
But yeah, but when we got him landing here on the Var from the first thing. Little Grogu is in the bubble, and then we've seen R5 on that set, and then right here when they're landing on this. I think this is when they're landing on Mandalore. It's like a nuclear winter kind of thing going on, and R5's with them by that point. So unless and then I don't think he would go back when we see Pele Moto, Grogu's with him, right? I think so.
Oh boy, yeah. So I'm sending you the R5 shot.
Okay.
Right now. Yeah.
Yeah, this is super sleuthing.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's good. It's good because this all makes it kind of makes sense, but also it's a lot more confusing than we would think. Come on, computer. I think my computer is saying you're asking too much of me today.
Two live streams in one day. That's too much, Jason.
Yeah, it's like, how dare you? How dare you put me to work? Okay, there it goes.
All Max, right. Huh? Gotta love.
I blame Max. She did it. All right, so there it is right here. Yeah, so right here we know it's Navarro 100% because of the ground. You can see like those tiles, and back here we got R5D4. We got Grogu and his little bassinet thing, and hovering around. So
hard to refute that.
Yeah, and the Navarro sets were up for a long time.
Yeah, like so it has to be 2 visits to Navarro because how's R5 get there? Okay, in the first one, we definitely see Grogu in the Grogu hatch, right? And then there's no place for R5 on there.
I got it. Well, I think I got it. So okay. So we go to Navarro.
Kay might be right. It might be a different droid. It looks like the same model, but it might not be R5.
Yeah, that's if it is a different droid. That's crappy filmmaking, crappy choices on. That's so close. You know what I mean? No, like you don't think somebody's R2D2 in the movies and it's not R2. Like they just don't use droids who look like R2. They use droids look like R5D4 when it's R2 as our main character. I think it is. But I think so. I think what we have, I think we have 2 stories here. Navarro story 1, Nick-2s are chasing us, help us. Cool. Story 2, we go back and then that's when we decide that we're going to get the mech and we're going to have the little guys make it because the little Babu Fricks are on Navarro.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but the Nick-2s are fighting them.
On Navarro.
Yeah, or maybe we just see them then. Like maybe they just pop up for one shot during the fight. It's like, look at those little puppets, like a Jim Henson moment. But then it's like a little bit of foreshadowing because we're gonna actually use them later on.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Huh. I think it's a good speculation anyways.
How does Grogu get a new pram? They went to the pram store and bought a new one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you would think they'd make it out of Beskar or something. Probably too expensive though. Yeah, but it's a good question, Sabersmith, because everyone's thinking it. Not really, nerd. No one's thinking that.
It's a guy that lives down the road from Jason, and they said, "Hey, we're looking for another pram. Do you think you can make us one?" That's it.
Baymax says there are shots of the other Mandos in the caves that look very much like Tatooine, but it could be any other rock sand planet. Yeah, and that's my problem with Mandalorian environments in general is that they just don't look different enough. Like, oh, this planet's not Tatooine. It rains here sometimes. It's like, well, I thought maybe it rained on Tatooine one day. You know?
Yeah, this is the desert planet with prams. Totally different.
Right? Okay. I have a scoop for you.
Pram-tween.
They met a Jedi named Pramela Anderson with big old boobies, and she gave it.
I like it.
Pramela Anderson. Okay.
I like that. Bo-Katan watch.
Carlos says, "Greetings from Spain. La Fosa del Rancor. Rancor."
He's eating Rancor like right now.
My girlfriend in high school told me in Spanish, "May the force be with you," was "Que la fuerza esté contigo." Is that correct? Or is that wrong?
He's
me.
like,
I don't speak Spanish.
I'm a douchebag. Gotcha good.
Ah,
It's a joke that pays off.
She's like, "You're never gonna get this in Spanish."
Yeah. So to Baymax's point here, if we get another Razor Crest, it'll have different paint on it. It'll be another Razor Crest, but instead of having like the gold paint that the first one did, it'll have blue paint.
Yeah.
So then you have to go buy yourself another $350 Razor Crest to go with your first Razor Crest. Yeah.
Bram says, "Didn't you say a few months back that Sabine was in Mando?" No. I've never had any indication that Sabine, Ren, or Boba Fett are in Mandalorian season 3. That's actually the one thing that I have said. I said I don't know if they're in it. I'm not saying that they're not in it. I just don't know that they are in it. And but Sabine is obviously in Ahsoka, and I'm of the opinion that the Ahsoka right now. This is just an opinion. It's based off of some informed speculation, but I think the Ahsoka series takes place concurrently. Like, I think it may begin before Mandalorian season 2 and may actually go into after Mandalorian. Yeah, I don't
Season 2.
Mandalorians. Yeah, when we meet her,
Yeah.
in the when we first meet Ahsoka, that may be like concurrent to the series, like something that we just don't really see in the season, but that will actually take place in the timeline there.
So we'll have seen all of Mando season 3. Ahsoka will back us up to Mando season 2 sometime,
But then go beyond it.
and then happen, say, parallel to season 3, something
Yeah,
like that.
I'm not completely convinced right now that that Ahsoka takes place over like 5 days straight. That it might take place over like a few months, for instance, or something like that. So, but it might be one of those things where, like, yeah, that makes sense, but they don't ever really say it. Like I've said before, how many days is the Empire Strikes Back? We could fight about it all day. It's not clear. So it might be something like that.
The other fun part about that little teaser that came out today it was on Apple Plus, right? The one where Grogu's spinning around in the chair. You can see him pushing with the Force to spin that chair around if you watch as he's going around. It's really cute.
It's an abuse of the Force, I say. I'm angry.
And Rob's not wrong. Like, you go back to when E.T. came out.
Hold on. I'm recording this. Hold on. Go ahead.
We
are recording.
You go back to when E.T. came out, and there was a big marketing thing with Reese's Pieces. Mm-hmm. Like, they didn't exist before E.T. And then E.T., Reese's Pieces, they had this big marketing thing.
I like he doesn't know how to say it, Jason. You're great.
What?
Yeah, I know. No, just keep going.
What?
Say it again.
Say it again. One more time for us.
Reese's Pieces.
Nope. Not what it's called.
Reese's Pieces makes me feces, right?
Pieces. Reese's
Yeah, there
Pieces.
you go. You worked it out. Damn it. I liked it better when you didn't know.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said anything. It was better when you did.
Damn it. Damn it.
So, where's the marketing campaign for the new little candies, right?
Right. Yeah.
Are you telling me they want to take on the candy lobby in Congress right now? Like, we should recolor that whole bowl green with add little heels on them just to fuck with the conservatives. You know what I mean? Like just a whole bowl of green
Well,
M&Ms.
what they will do is they'll sell a bag of all red ones with Grogu right on it. That's happening.
Yeah.
He remembers, Jason.
Yeah.
He remembers.
I'd watch it. I'd eat it.
Remember Peggy Sue got married when she told him not to eat the red M&Ms? Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Van Halen.
Yeah.
Van Halen, didn't they only want green ones or something like that? But okay. So anyways, though, yeah, I don't think we're gonna see Sabine, and I think that Sabine's not in these events because the events of Ahsoka are going on, and she's not there for it. She's not there for what's happening on Mandalore because she's out with Ahsoka in that new place finding those other guys. I think that's what's probably happening, finding Ezra Bridger and stuff. And I think they come back and they're like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Or whatever. I'm not saying they come back to Mandalore in that show, but that's what it would be like for them. I was out of it for a little while, and then now Mandalore has delusions of grandeur. So that's just my take, and like I said, that could be wrong. So, and then Bram asks, and who do you think is behind the door in the Order 66 flashback? Anakin, Quinlan, because of the mention of Obi-Wan? Yeah, I don't know if who's behind the door is even important. It could just be clone troopers, right?
I think that Theory did a really good video on it where you can see
Is Reva?
no.
Is Reva's bait and switch?
it's
Okay.
totally Reva. No,
Totally Reva.
where you can see in the Revenge of the Sith, the little hologram when Obi-Wan wants to see the evidence, and he looks back and you see Anakin going through and slaying younglings, and then that's one of the scenes that you can see in there. It's the same characters, and they're moving around. They're fighting with Anakin. That you see there going towards the door. So I'm pretty sure that's Anakin coming through the door, and it's going to lead to that fight that we saw in Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, Star Wars Theory did a really good video on who he thinks behind the door. It makes sense. Looks really good.
Yeah. And then in that theory, it would be we wouldn't really see it though in the show. It would just be implied it's that fight, right?
Or they'll use the footage from what they Theory did an interview later with the guy that did all the fight scenes choreography, and they actually shot that scene, complete footage of that scene, and then it ended up getting clipped down and put into the hologram thing that you see, so they could actually go back and take the original footage, assuming it still exists somewhere.
Yeah.
And presumably it would, because it was all done on digital. It's not like, film laying on the floor, it gets put in a trash can. So it presumably could still exist, and they could take that footage, clean it up, and put that footage from Revenge of the Sith in there.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel like the narrative that as it's being set up though right now is so much supposed to be a mystery though. I'm just not seeing it that way. I think it's being implied that that theory would say it's Darth Vader. It's Order 66. It's clones or Darth Vader, and whichever it ends up being would be, and when I say Darth Vader, I mean Anakin Skywalker before the armor, before the suit. And it would just it's not good either way. And since he gets away, I don't even know if we would ever need to see, if they show us any more of it, we may never even need to see what that stuff was.
True.
Because we're on the other side of that door, right? And it's not really clear if you can go back behind where the camera is and escape from here, or if you have to go through that door to get out. It's not really clear. So But I'm excited to like see more about Grogu's backstory, but I also don't really know if it's going to be anything deeper than what's been obvious the whole time. Is that like, yeah, he gets away, and then the cloners want him for Palpatine's blood. I think it's just going to be like that simple. It's going to be like, yeah, well, of course that's what it was.
Will it tie in? Will we see more Grogu story in the last arc of the Bad Batch? Like the finale appears to be, my guess, just looking at the episode titles and such. The
Yeah.
finale looks like it's going to be the Mount Tantus, the last 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Will we see Grogu as a part of the Mount Tantus thing in Bad Batch, and that'll also help inform his backstory?
No. No, he's sweet, man.
No.
Giving this
The
way too much thought.
the thing that I think goes against that is that you want Grogu after Palpatine has died, and then he's been resurrected in this clone bodies that aren't staying alive, or they want to resurrect him over on Exegol, that kind of stuff, right? And so if they had Grogu since then, I think Palpatine would have been okay. They would be in an okay. They would have already harvested gallons of his blood by the. You know what you would think. So it kind of makes sense that Return of the Jedi happens, and then that's when they go for Grogu in a different way, maybe.
So you're thinking Grogu after Order 66 is ferreted away and he's free for some amount of time in hiding before say Moff Gideon gets hold of him.
Yeah.
I think you're wrong.
Okay.
I think they'll get Grogu right away and boom, he's a Mount Tantus.
Yeah, I think Grogu is taken away. It's not good for him. I don't know what happens to him. I mean, that's, I think, and just whatever. But then I think that after Palpatine's death, that's when like they like really need him. And I'm guessing that somebody maybe like, how does Grogu get away from that situation? And I think it might be somebody
who
who
free him.
Somebody who realizes, I don't want to help Palpatine come back.
Right.
But I can't.
I have
kill the
theories.
baby.
I have
Because
theories.
I would personally, like in that theory, I'd be like, this guy's 50. I'm killing you. I would have killed Grogu.
Have you been talking with my friend Will Morgan? Has he been chatting you up in Discord?
Oh yeah, we were talking about doing something together.
Yeah.
I think all 3 of us, maybe. I'm not sure if it's all 3 of us or
right.
But, yeah,
I'm leaning into the Heir to the Empire adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
There's how you get Grogu out of Mount Tantus.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? You do it at the end of Ahsoka and Skeleton Crew, like Mando
Mara
season.
Jade. Mara Jade
Yeah.
saved him, right? And we get to bring Mara Jade back.
No,
Can't
no
wait.
Mara Jade. No Mara Jade.
Yeah.
It's an adaptation, not beat for beat, but
Mo
bring
Jade.
in the main points.
Mo
So
Jade.
I think there could be an infiltration of Mount Tantus where they break out all the clones.
Yeah.
Or the test tubes, all that.
Yeah, I thought back in the day, so originally I had all of these disparate facts from season 1. I knew it was about a child that the Mandalorian was trying to save, and I knew that the child was important to the restoration of Mandalore at the time and stuff like that. So back then, I thought, like, my working theory was Grogu, who we didn't know was a baby Yoda, but we knew it was a child, was like the heir apparent of Mandalore, and that they had put him in carbon freeze.
Oh,
And then I knew that he had a carbon freeze chamber on his ship. So I'm like, maybe that's like connected to the whole thing. Like that's
fan
what.
math.
well, I see.
Well,
I think
that isn't fan math. That's actually good detective work.
So
Come
I
on.
think if we saw Grogu in
Be a
the
fucking
Fan
event,
Tracy
Rob.
over here.
Yeah, fucking prick.
if we see Grogu in
Flick
the end of
Tracy.
Bad Batch season 2, Bad Batch season 3 could be where they would free him, assuming there is a season 3.
Right.
That's my take.
or they get to Mount Tantus, and oh no, those giant crabby robots Palpatine's making. What a secret Imperial
Man, I hope we get
program.
17 seasons of Bad Batch. I hope that's the only thing they ever animate. You know what I mean? Like,
they could even
in
break
my
him out.
lifetime, like this is it. Just stick with it.
They could break him out at the end of this season, even if that's
Yeah.
the case. If there's a 2-story arc, they could break him out at the end of this season. Then he goes into hiding. So, or Gideon grabs him up and takes him with him, or something like that. I think that we will see Grogu's backstory informed in
Marvel Comics.
yes.
Yeah.
No. No, isn't Dark Horse doing those again?
No.
Dark Horse is doing what?
Star Wars.
Yeah, they are doing one Star Wars thing. I don't know what they're doing though.
Yeah.
No, they are.
I know.
Okay.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah, Rob's. I don't know. Rob's crazy.
he's still stuck on the.
Carlos says sorry about the announcement. La Fosa del Rancor podcast has a panel at Celebration, and we'll be happy to say hello. Oh, nice. That's fun. Yeah, if you guys go to Celebration and you guys go to any of the podcast panels, check out Carlos's show while you're there. Be a good time. So, yeah, when it comes to like Grogu and the Bad Batch, like there being like a connection there, I think that would have been a smart thing for them to like do. It would have been fun if there was anything like that. But
Oh, they're doing
totally
the
don't
all
believe it.
ages series, Jason. So my guess is IDW. I think they were doing that Star Wars Adventures all ages comic. That's what Dark Horse. They picked that up. So
Okay.
I guess IDW is not doing that anymore.
Okay.
Meg's phone today.
Did she send like 15 more messages for one?
she's asked the same question. She's asked 15 times already.
Oh,
Because
wow.
because you know the modern Star Wars comics, they're super adult. They're not for all ages. You know, they're hardcore. Like we need an even more milquetoast version of Star Wars for fans to spend $3.99 a month on. You know,
Yeah, as a kid, for a time the Marvel comic line was going on at the same times as Droids and Ewoks, and I bought all of them. And
look,
I hated
right now
the Droids and the Ewoks ones compared to the Marvel ones. So the idea that like children need it like brighter and more colorful and stuff, I don't think that's necessarily true.
Except, I'm going to say this right now. If anyone from Dark Horse is listening, go hit up Otis Frampton and buy every one of his 100 Jawa Adventures covers and get the guy to do a Jawa's Adventures book. Yeah. He's already got 100 covers. If you haven't seen it, it's brilliant work. He's the cartoonist to do the series.
Just hire him just to do anything for you. How about that?
He's house cleaning.
Yeah, I hear you, but he's already got this work done. Like if you got 100 covers in, and get the guy paid. You know, like let's do it.
Yeah, they should. I would read something insane like that. You know, that'd be fun. All right, guys, did we cover all of the Mando stuff from today? Did I forget anything? I always forget things.
Reese's Pieces. Is it Skeetles too? Is it Skeetles?
Skeetles.
Skeetles. Yeah. Snikers.
Snickers.
I give up.
Milky Wee.
Yeah. See? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It rhymes. Reese's Pieces.
I don't know. He was a grown adult when he made that mistake, Jason. You think about that. Like,
that's how he said it my whole life. Like,
I think when you were 4, they were like, "That's so cute," and then nobody corrected you. And then now here we are.
He was 40 when that movie came out, Jason.
I was going to say I was older than 4 when that movie came out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was 2. I remember seeing it as well. It was scary. E.T. We were like, I was like really, really small. I think that's the only movie I ever saw with my grandmother in the theater too. She wouldn't go to the movies. I don't know why.
82. I was a sophomore in high school.
Oh yeah, that's because you're a mythical creature that's almost immortal. I forgot about that.
Well, little known fact, he's actually Judge Reinhold in the beard. Like, so he was actually working at the pirate shop, and he got that job at the Circle K afterward. And
Dude,
it was a tough senior year for Santa.
Is it as magical as I think it was? I think so.
And got rid of Mrs. Claus for a year. Thought it was going to be better off. Didn't work out.
What if
Didn't
Phoebe
work
Cates
out.
is Mrs. Claus? You ever think about that?
Every day.
Phoebe Cates is Mrs. Claus?
First, if I wake up in the morning, I remember that. I have a good day every day.
All right, we did it. I think we did it.
I think
We covered the clip. We talked about the and the helmets. I think we did it.
Jason, I just want to remind everyone, we've been doing this podcast, you and me now, together for about 18-something months. This would be the first time we ever watch a legit Mando series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We've been... Yeah, the thing I said, this is why I'm doing this show. I love this series, and I've yet to get to watch one fucking real episode of it. Well, I had to sit through all these shitty episodes with Kenobis and Book of Boba Fett's and Bad Batches.
You sound crazy to me right now. I had a good time. I thought it was
Jedi Academy game shows and shit, like every fucking thing. But this, here we're gonna go. Here we go. Can't wait.
Yeah. And then this will be the one you're like, I don't like it anymore. My name is Rob, and I don't like it. I think it should have.
It's not gonna look stupid. Visually, it'll look great.
I think it should have been a movie.
It should have been a movie. Heir to the Mandalorian. I've been saying that.
I don't know. I'll take 8 hours of the show rather than one movie.
No, you're not getting. No.
That's what I decided.
No.
Judge Reinhold is judge.
Don't worry, you're getting 800 hours of Bad Batch. You know, there you go.
Yeah, I don't like that show anymore.
That's because you're too sleepy.
I switched it. I watched it in the morning today, and I got so bored in the middle of it, I zoned out and had to watch it a second time.
It was a good show. It was a good one. You're talking about their walking.
Jason,
between,
which is better, Bad Batch or droids?
No, what I'm saying is, I didn't need to see them land, walk to the mine, take out their tools, we could have literally started with them mining, and then they could have caught up to everything in one or two lines. Like it was not effective. It was very ineffectual filmmaking, I'd say.
Come on.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we didn't watch them like fly there and talk on the way. We got there. They were opening the vault. They were putting the key in.
Parking the ship. We parked the ship. We saw the guy come to steal the ship.
Of course, you saw the guy come.
All the things you can animate, Jason. This is what they're doing. Think about it. All the things you could do. This is it.
From
brilliant.
Tunnel to tunnel. And like I said though, like my takeaway, by the way, of today's episode, that whole thing is everything that happened in that episode could have been in the other episode with the Mecha Godzilla thing. They could have combined it, and it would have been actually really good.
Yeah, you're right.
It would have been a really good script because it was the same concept.
No, we had the Lion King in this one.
With the Lion King.
Come on now, you saw the Lion King's shot. It was like shot by shot, same as Lion King.
I hate the Lion King. I think it sucks.
Well, we're gonna watch Tarzan again.
I like when Chewbacca's Tarzan.
I know.
Son of Man.
Ask Rob.
We don't hold it against you, Jason.
We're gonna be
established.
Jason, that's your Reese's Pieces, the Tarzan thing.
No, you know what? You want to know why?
Yeah.
I like spaceships.
Yeah. Shipes. They're pronounced shipes. Space shipes. Yeah. It's true. Yeah.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us today, Star Wars Santa. Make sure.
Wait, one thing. It's
no,
Booba
George.
Fett. It's Booba Feet. Booba Feet. Just so you know, I got it wrong initially, but it was supposed to be Booba Feet.
Yeah, that's fair.
That cartoon fucked it all up. It was ridiculous.
You guys are so
lame. Make sure you subscribe to Star Wars Santa's YouTube show. I show up on his channel like once or twice a week, probably twice
for 2 hours. And then he cancels our show. That's my favorite. When I see Jason on there for 2 hours, like, oh, great, we don't have to do a show today. And Jason goes, I'm too exhausted. I've been doing Star Wars Santa show since 7 a.m. I'm like, great. Yeah.
He works us like elves over there.
I need a nap.
I need a nap.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then so I'll see you at Friday morning? We're doing Friday morning?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'll be over Saturday on Santa's show on Friday morning, and we'll hang out and talk about the week's news.
The Empire Magazine's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah,
The full thing.
the
Yeah.
full thing. All of.
So we got a show tomorrow, Jason.
Yeah, there'll be some interesting
You got to pay for it.
more bits.
When are we gonna get
Oh.
Annie Leibovitz doesn't photograph any TV show stuff. She only does the movies, right?
No, she already did. She did Mando, Andor, and Ahsoka all together already in that
great.
one episode. They were all. Yeah, it was really and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Remember? They were all.
Oh,
together.
we already saw that. I was
Yeah.
hoping for some new-
So they kind of did like the year's productions like all at one time. So
nice.
that's why I'm not really expecting there to be a big Vanity Fair piece necessarily. At least there could be, but I don't know if there will be. I feel like they already did it.
All right,
So,
bummer.
All right, yeah, it is what it is.
But looking forward to the Empire thing. So we'll see what we
Yeah.
can glean from that.
Yeah, there could be something to talk about. Who knows? But all right. Thanks again, Santa. All right, I'll see you tomorrow, Rob, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that jazz. Pieces of shit.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.